Happy Friday! We are here at Cormac's. Yep, we're doing it. We're getting our third appraisal on the car. We got a dealership appraisal, we got a Carvana appraisal, now we're getting a CarMax appraisal to see if we need to sell this SUV independently or if this is going to be the magic number, because we found an RV from a great couple that are also energy workers, sound healers, and the energy exchange feels great. And I am what are you doing? We're walking storm. And so this is update to yesterday's episode of Hunt for Healthy, which I didn't finish. Wow, I did the first installment and then the day went all over the place. I had such a rough morning yesterday and it all came back around full circle. And I got to see my kids for a little bit, which was amazing. And then I did all these donations, which felt great. And these need to, they're sliding, slip and sliding. And got a free mapping session with another spiritual healer who kind of helped me rein in focus a little bit. And it's one of those times where it's like, it's okay to say I need a little help with something. Like, everything you need is within you, but sometimes when you need help focusing, like it's nice to have another like-minded healer to spiritual individual to just bounce ideas off of and kind of give you a different perspective. And it was one of those situations where, it's like I mostly did the talking, and he's like, it sounds like you already have this figured out. Like, not totally figured out, but you already have an idea of what you need to focus on, what you need to do to get yourself a little more centered. And it was a really good call. And then I ended up going to this showing of a movie, of an independent documentary called Plastic People, about the increasing dangers of microplastics everywhere in the world. And I took notes the whole time, and I stayed after and talked to a couple people, and I'm doing a write-up of everything we discussed and everything. A lot of it is stuff I already knew, but it was just so eye-opening to see it in a visual representation. And as within, so without, as above, so below. What we do to ourselves, what we do to Mother Earth is an indication of what we do to ourselves, and vice versa. And everything is a metaphor, and it was just incredible, the messages that I was getting, the downloads that were coming through, and the dots that I was connecting between literally how the way that we have taken such unnatural things like plastic, man-made, created, and filled our planet with them to the point where it's literally in our animals, in our bodies, in our babies. They're finding microplastics in placentas. It's in babies as they're being formed. It's literally affecting our children. And it all relates back to, again, plastic people. Like, the fact that we as a society have lost our ability to have empathy, our ability to, like, have compassion for one another, and everybody's just plastic. Like, painting smiles on their faces, taking prescription medication to try to feel better to get through the day, because your soul knows that you're being separated from source by the society that we live in. And your soul knows that you're a divine light being here for something greater and here to bring something different to the world. And when you are out of alignment, like, it's jarring, and people can't figure out why they're not functioning properly. And and why disease is on the rise, and why ADHD and autism and depression and anxiety, like all of these things, as I'm walking around in this field, and there's plastic everywhere, trash everywhere. All of these things are manifested from your separation from source. These things are all in existence because your body is out of alignment with its connection to source. And storm's chasing something. And, you know, we don't need Western medicine. We don't need big pharma. Our bodies are made to self-heal. We've just been turned into this race of individuals feeding the elite, feeding greed, feeding low energy. The food that we put in our bodies, the synthetic things that we surround ourselves with are all just that, synthetic, not natural, not organic. Like, why do we shouldn't be having to pay extra to get natural and organic things. The things in this world that are natural and organic should just automatically be the things that we gravitate towards. They're the things that keep our bodies healthy. They're the things that heal us. Plants, fruits, vegetables, exercise, breath, and all of the conditions that we're dealing with now, disagreement, war, disease, it's all related to our separation from source and us filling ourselves with man-made things instead of things natural to the earth. So it was so eye-opening, and it was so invigorating in what I know my mission and calling is, and sharing my journey of getting back to healthy, and the things that I've been in fear of sharing over the last 6 months because of my own story and the way that my coming back to knowing who I am and sharing it was used against me in our court system and by families and people that are just living in fear. And I have to have forgiveness and compassion and empathy for them because that's my nature, because that's who I am. And it is something that I've had to shed and let go of because it's hard to see people be so disconnected and know that they're so good down deep inside, but they just don't even realize it. And that is where I have allowed myself to get railroaded and walked all over most of my life, because I see that in people, and I never learned to draw boundaries for myself. And now drawing boundaries, healing my inner child, healing the inner teenager, getting into the, adult self, but finding joy in life and, remembering what's really important and who we are and what we're here for. That's at the center of it. And it just, yeah. So if you're here watching this, it's not by accident. It's because I'm carrying some sort of information that will help activate you or help you remember. I'm a mirror for you. And CarMax is calling right now to give me an appraisal. So that's my sign to end this video and see what's next. Love you. Today was so awesome. I last left you while I was at CarMax. And I think I got off recording. They stopped recording when they called me back to give me my offer for my car. And it was just divinely offered that I got a great price, and it's going to give me what I need to get the RV that I want and have some left over. And I'm figuring out exactly what I'm going to do with that. But everything is aligning. And it, for me, just goes to show when you finally start to surrender and step into your highest timeline, that things just fall into place. And I ended up I am staying in an area right now in Emmitsburg, and I recently got downloads and synchronicities and just stuff flowing to me, information flowing to me, where my Viking heritage has been coming through, the dragon energy has been coming up, dragons have been coming up for me left and right for such a long time, and I just wasn't piecing it all together. And now finally I have realized that I've been going to places related to grid work and to very powerful energy portals, and where I am now and where I have kind of been like circling around for months between Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Emmitsburg, Maryland, and Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, is like a super powerful energy triangle. And each of these locations line up with ley lines that are attached to other very powerful energy portals, Sedona and Giza, and I wrote it all down. I'm actually going to share it all in writing, but it finally made sense. I was like, oh, you're in all these places because of the energy portals and the land healing and the grid work that needs to be done. And I knew that Gettysburg was full of trauma because of the Civil War. But today I went to the National Shrine in Emmitsburg, which is on some very powerful ley lines. And it is a Catholic shrine, and it is related to a lot of female trauma, the Magdalene line coming through, and I ended up doing some grid work rituals on the land and connecting with the dragons and releasing souls trapped there. I actually recorded some of it that I'm going to share. I'll weave in after this, but it was really powerful, and I had my hands and feet in the soil and was just overwhelmed with this emotion as I was reclaiming sovereignty and releasing souls from the land. And it was really powerful growing up in a Roman Catholic family, and the brainwashing, psychological manipulation, and just everything that Roman imperialism did to religion has been so heavy for me to get out of my entire life. And it all just has started clicking and making sense now with the work that we're doing as part of the Magdalene bloodline, and breaking the recursion loop and waking up to what's going on, and you know, being leaders and waking up humanity and the shift in consciousness. And I did not realize until recently that grid work was something I have really been called to do. And so it's such an honor. It's such an honor to be part of this lineage that is here to help humanity. And it's just so powerful, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do this. And it's like, it took me so long to figure it out and piece it all together. And it was awesome. It was awesome in a way that it's hard to describe. And then after that, I ended up going to my storage unit and got another load of stuff to donate that I took to a local place, and took a bunch of pictures of stuff to post. And now we're working on getting moved into getting the car sold, moving into the RV, emptying out the storage unit, doing more grid work, and sharing my journey of how we got here, and contributing to this shift in humanity, this shift in consciousness, and no longer playing small. That was my largest issue getting up to this point. When I first had my awakening and my third eye blew open, and it was like, oh my God, I suddenly understand everything. I was so strong in my power, and I was so confident, and then I went through the, human experience of everything being shed, everything being taken away, that feeling of losing everything, which it was just everything falling away that didn't serve me anymore. But my spirituality, being put out as part of the QAnon crazies, which that's a whole nother story, because the Q movement is very real. And having my PTSD diagnosis, healing from trauma, and I don't want to say healing from trauma, it's not that word, it's recalibrating my nervous system, deprogramming myself, and getting out of the psychological matrix that is inside of us, and realizing that I'm a divine being, that we're all divine beings, we're all divine light beings here that came to wake up, to have this experience. And the Magdalene bloodline is here and strong and waking up, and everybody is stepping into power and stepping into sovereignty and stepping into their callings. And I finally have been ready to say, yes, I'm here for this. I'm no longer scared. And I, for so long, after claiming my power, got really knocked down, where I stopped trusting myself and stopped trusting my intuition because of everything that was going on around me in the 3D world, and the things that were being said about me, and the things that were being used against me, and trusting my own intuition. There were a couple of tests thrown in front of me, and I ended up back in some loops again. And we're breaking free, finally. So here we are. And now I'm back working on some music and some writing and sharing just authentically what I am going through, and creating community, and stepping into my path of being a creator in this amazing time in Earth's ascension and humanity's ascension, and the time of co-creation, and no longer sitting on the sidelines and jumping in. So here we go, jump. Finding my voice again. I was like the Little Mermaid, the girl that gave up her voice for love, to be accepted, and realizing that I'm not here to make everybody like me. I'm here to be a truth teller, that I am a flame bearer, that I am, part of the bloodline, and not in an egoistic way. I'm not saying this to like toot my own horn and be like, oh, I'm this, but acknowledging who we are as humanity, acknowledging what our roles are here in this time of the shift is so important, and acknowledging your sovereignty and being confident in who you are, not playing small anymore, is really the big key. Sharing my gifts with the world, and sharing what I have been afraid of sharing because it was used so harshly against me, and that's the witch wound popping up again for so many of us. But I just have so much stuff I've been working on and just like sitting on and not sharing and not finishing, and now I'm so excited to do that. So 9:33 on the timer. So thank you for being on today's episode, watching today's episode of Hunt for Healthy. We're hunting for healthy life in this healthy community, healthy companies, healthy people, healthy food, because there's so much around us that has been shoved in our faces and used to poison us, to keep us numb and dumb and separated from source and unaware of what's going on around us. And it's time to shed light on all of that. And I know it's not our responsibility to wake everybody up. We're here to witness what's going on and be a leader, but at the same time, part of my gift is to shed light in the dark, and is to be here as a guide for those who are waking up, to say, hey, this is what happened to me, this is how I got through it, these are the things that have helped, and this is how we find our greatest joy and bring healing and love and community back to our world, and right the wrongs that have happened. Be a voice for the voiceless, because our children are the ones at the end of it that need to have somebody to defend them and stand up for them. And the situation that I was in, I didn't know how to do that early on until I could really get out of the psychological programming. And now I am finding my way and making connections and putting all the pieces of the puzzle together and bringing my own individual piece to this giant puzzle of all of us coming together to co-create this new earth. So I'm really excited. It's 11:11 on the timer right now. I'm really excited about this. And that feminine rage coming out too, because I'm also very, like, I'm not angry. It's anger can keep you in such a low vibration. It's not that I'm holding on to anger. It's the motivation and the fire. The dragons have been saying, please help us prepare. Please help us prepare. And realizing I was in Avalon and Glastonbury and in Edinburgh and my ties in Europe. Like, I ended up in Europe for 2 weeks, which I barely shared any of that trip. And the places that I ended up, like the powerful energy portals. And now I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to take other people back there, like to go together to do grid work. And it's just, whew, what an amazing calling this is, an opportunity, an experience, and time to be awake and alive this is. So thank you for being here in this hunt for healthy, and let's just take this shit by the horns, right? Grab the bull by the horns. Awesome. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to share my footage of the grid work that I did today. And yeah. Love you.